So it looks like we're live, Jane. We are live indeed. Hi, everybody.
Well, I'm certainly alive, Craig. You're
I feel
not.
just about alive today. Almost alive in my crazy pink jacket. So hi, everyone. We're going to say hello to everybody. That if you're just joining and if you're joining after we've gone live, the theme tonight is going to be Harry and Meghan. And we're going to talk a few predictions about it, but mainly a bit of discussion and our thoughts and feelings about it. And it would be fantastic because I'm sure many of you might have very diverse opinions about this. It would be really interesting to see what your thoughts are, what your opinions are about it. We're just going to have a talk about it, talk about where we think they're going to be going in the future, what's going to happen to them. You know, a little bit of kind of clairvoyant chat between us in a way, isn't it, really? Just so we're not going to be giving you lists of predictions. We've got other videos up about that. But we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk a little bit as well about, you know, our involvement with Princess Diana in the past. So we're going to say hello to people. Hello, Angela from Munich.
Hello, Angela from Munich.
Hello from Callum MacDonald in Ayrshire, Scotland.
Hello, Callum.
I think you've got rain up there at the moment, haven't you? It's pretty heavy up there, I think, at the moment. Catherine, hello from Southern England.
Good evening, Catherine.
A mysterious place in Southern England. Hi, you two from the west coast of Ireland.
No, they're from the west coast of Ireland.
Yes, they are. We're not. I'm pretty sure this is Eastleigh in near Southampton. Hello from Darlington, from Celia. We used to have our friend Vi up there in Darlington. Used to do an awful lot of work on the website.
Hello from the USA, FM. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what the F means.
Linda.
Hi, Dom. So yeah, Domenico's there in the background tonight. We're going to just do the 1 hour tonight. We won't be doing the second after one, but we might be able to do perhaps talk Dom into doing another one, a separate one with me later, perhaps. Agility Bits. How could I guess? Do you pick up anybody from Totten perhaps arriving, or Cornwall in this case? Good evening to you wonderful souls. Hugs and loves from Crownborough Castle, Denmark.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, wonderful. Hello from Germany, as usual, Patricia Schultz. Yes.
Good evening, Patricia.
Nice to see lots of regulars, but also lots of new people coming in tonight as well. Hello from Georgia. That's Marilyn, I think.
Oh, Millie. Hi, Millie.
Millie, who was a guest on our show here once. And we always open to other guests if you want to join. Do let us know, perhaps through Facebook or the comments. Hello from Chicago. Can't wait for today's show, says Karen.
Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting topic. So if you're just joining, we're going to talk about Harry and Meghan, some of our thoughts and feelings, just a sort of a talk between us. But maybe we might get a few things about what we think are going to happen to them in the future. Hi from Lorraine in Wareham, Dorset. It'd be nice to go down to Wareham again, and all down there. It's a really lovely area when the sun's out. Neil saying, good morning, Craig and Jane from Melbourne, Australia.
Lovely.
Yes. That's, not sending you any vaccines down there, are we? But we're going to talk about the royal family. I expect some of the Australians might have some interesting things to say about that. So if you've got any opinions about Meghan and Harry and the rest of it, we'd like to hear from you in the comments, because we're going to talk about that tonight.
Don't hold back.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting and quite a controversial topic, I think, tonight. Hi from North Carolina. Jane, I love your energy. It's amazing. Thank you guys both.
Thank you.
Your energy is good. Mine is absolutely right down there tonight, I think. Namaste from New Delhi, India. Hello, Chandi. D, hello, love all the pink from Little King Sill. Well, one of the comments, I don't know if it was on the Patreon site or on the site, said we like you in the pink. So I thought, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But they wanted him in orange, but I said that's too much like Prisoners. And,
Prisoners escaping.
And Riker.
Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah, I had to wear that orange for nearly 5 years when they put me away. Hello, all the pink, love and kings. But it helps the skin tones, I think. I still look pretty washed out. Good evening, Craig and Jane from Cyprus. They're from Linda.
Good evening,
yeah, we were
Linda.
just talking about it'd be nice to go to Cyprus.
We will do one day.
Yeah, Cyprus is one of those places, a bit like Malta, I'd expect.
Right, Kindred Spirit. Good evening, Jane and Craig from Harrow, Middlesex.
So we're just saying hello to everybody as we go live to give everybody a chance to get online, because
Right, you're not
all as punctual as we are. Patrice saying hello from the Netherlands. Good. Yes. First country in the world I visited outside of the UK when I was 6 years old. Went with my granddad to Amsterdam.
I thought so. To visit the mouse in
very different then. Very different window shopping there then. Michelle says Lily the Pink is my...
Oh yeah, you do look like Lily the Pink. Lily the Pink.
I think you've all got your colour settings wrong. That's clearly what it is. What you need to do is for a properly balanced colour program, it's important to their right white. This has been standardised as a luminant C for a peak white, and the rest of it makes you both feel happy. From British Columbia. Yeah, they got their luminant C wrong out there. For a properly balanced colour program, it's important to take the right white. This has been standardised as a luminant C. A typical sequence being to align the grayscale, then by proportion the cut-off points, obtain a luminant C at peak white as fast as possible throughout the rest of the colour screen. So that's get the colours right.
You two from me in the Shaftesbury area. Now, that's a nice town too.
Yeah, another place to go, isn't it? I mean, all these places to go. We're just saying this lockdown's been on now. I came back from India in February. We passed February. We were in lockdown soon after. So we've been in lockdown nearly for 13 months now. Except the royal family don't seem to be sort of bothered with that so much.
No, they have to stay in their castles, poor things.
Poor things. Locked away in their glorious, huge council castles.
And I think somebody's going to end up in the Tower of London if they're not careful.
So we're talk tonight, as we said, is going to be about Harry and Meghan and the rest of it. So... well, we've been chatting about it quite a bit today, haven't we, really? Because so much has been on the news with this Oprah Winfrey, I always get her word wrong with her, show, and what they're going to be saying out there, and the revelations they're going to make. I mean, you get it in America on Sunday, and we get it on Monday, early hours of the morning. And the hype over here is pretty big, really, isn't it? I mean, it's all on the news. They show these little clips that they release about it, and it does make you think about what is going to happen to these two.
Well, it's like in the long run. It's like the world is my oyster. Look at me, everyone.
Yeah,
typical Leo.
First, she's a Leo, isn't she?
And Harry is a Virgo.
Yeah, and she really does want to. I mean. Sorry to all Leos out there, but every sign has good and bad. But I mean, I think she shows a lot of the bad aspects of Leo, which can be
attention seeking.
They can often be, they want the limelight, really, and they can also be drama queens when they like the limelight, and they stalk their prey, don't they? They stalk their prey. A Leo does.
Good job you didn't meet a Leo woman.
Tears to pieces. Well, I'm an Aquarian, and we're with the opposite sides of the zodiac wheel. So they actually, I think,
should chew you up and spit you
Aquarians
out.
can usually get on quite well with Leos, I think, but because of their opposites. But anyway, about Harry and Meghan. I mean, she does, like we were saying, she shows all the signs of a typical Leo that's out for the prey.
Well, I think really,
the royal thing, isn't it? Royal.
I mean, one cannot compare her to Princess Diana, and we'll talk a bit about that in a minute, because Princess Diana really did reach people's hearts, didn't she? She really was a hardworking royal.
Yeah, she was. And Princess Diana was, I think we could all have said, she was a victim, wasn't she? She was a victim of a really bad marriage. And I think the Crown and that, although they glorify the stories into their own, exaggerate it all, I think there was real difficulties there in the marriage. And so she was a victim. I mean, the people, because, Diana came through a number of times for us. Both, we did a TV show, and I also gave readings as well before that to some of Diana's people that were very close to Diana, that knew her well personally, face to face. And she was absolutely paranoid about MI5 and being bugged. And I think rightly so. They used to check the room for bugs because, she was terrified of all the time, every conversation being overheard. She was a victim. Now, Meghan likes to play, in my opinion anyway, likes to play the victim. I am the victim.
Well, her acting career came in very useful. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us particularly like us because we were talking about it earlier on, weren't we? But she's I get the sense with her that she gets where she gets to, particularly to Harry's heart, by being the victim from the beginning.
She never lets go of his hand, and Harry, to me, comes across a young man that's been very needy in his life, which one can understand. She never lets him out of her sight. She's always holding on to his hand as if she's mothering him. And somebody said a very interesting thing to me the other day. They said, Jane, do you think the spirit of Wallis Simpson has entered into Meghan?
Yeah,
they did.
It certainly feels like history repeating itself.
She's dressing like, in her hairstyle like Wallis Simpson. And do you think Wallis Simpson's husband, which would have been the future king, has entered into Harry? I said, well, I've not really thought of that.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. And do you think karmically it's as if it's payback time to the royal family if it's the spirit of Wallis Simpson?
Yeah.
Now, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think karma does come round, doesn't it? And it comes round in the same form very often. And I think the royal family, I've been asking for it for a long time, since they've been chopping people's heads off since Henry VIII and before that. But it's those around the royals, says Deb here, that are the problem. Look at history. Yeah. I mean, it certainly is. It is part of the problem. But there's also, if you look at history too, the number of people that have tried to take the throne all the time, and they've come in from the outside. I mean, when you think about it, the whole thing's an absolute crackpot idea.
Well, let's put it this way, Craig. Princess Diana came from an aristocratic family, and the royals are on the throne, shouldn't be on the throne.
Yeah, actually, the Plantagenets are still
That's
around.
Right.
I mean, there's a few Plantagenets out there who are the direct line from the Plantagenet king line. And the guys have got nothing, they're engineers or something, or car mechanics, but they are actually I don't know exactly what they were shown on a program once, but they basically got nothing, So you either have the crown or you don't, but it is the ultimate ambition, isn't it, for anybody that wants to get on in the world? Because, I mean, Harry was could there have been a more eligible bachelor than Harry? Really?
Well, she made out she didn't know who he was, and I don't believe that for one moment.
Yeah. I didn't know who Harry was. I mean, what is she mad? Has she had a lobotomy? I mean, everybody.
What I can't understand, years and years ago, talking about the royal family, and talking about like Princess Diana, the women had to be virgins, they had to be pure. They had to come from an aristocratic background, and they shouldn't have been of mixed race.
I love that. I would like to wish happy anniversary to Craig and Jane today. That is fantastic because it's not our anniversary. Jane put some pictures up of our wedding on
it was a memory.
Facebook, and everybody thought happy anniversary. Immediately assumes, but this is about the 5th time it's happened.
But I'll take it if you want to.
So
five gifts to me, Craig. I'll take it.
We actually got married on the 1st of April. It was an April Fool's Day we got married on.
And everybody was.
Everybody, because I'd played a lot of practical jokes on the family in the past. I mean, these big time ones. I pretended the house had been sold and auctioned and the shops had gone bust and all sorts of things, letters from receivers, all sorts of crazy things. They thought it was a genuine practical joke, that we were having a joke.
And they were frightened to go in the spiritualist church.
They were terrified because we were in the spiritualist church.
Because John Stokes gave me away, which was the late Doris Stokes.
Yeah. The husband, and he acted as your father, didn't he? There, so so that's it shows how things can get out of hand, doesn't it? Particularly with the internet. Yeah. Go on, sorry, Joan, you can say.
Well, I think I cannot see Meghan and Harry lasting 20 years down the line, because I feel there will be a custody battle over children, and bear in mind the second child will be born in America. So there will be trouble. And I had a flash of clairvoyance this evening that I did see tragedy. I won't go too much into that, what I saw, but Meghan has got a temper on her, and I think, and I know that Harry's going to be at the end of it.
Yeah, you were seeing a real fight, but you saw really bad.
I did.
You? And I agree with that.
I don't wish it on them.
No, I wish.
I just
wish they could have a good, proper, happy marriage. I mean, particularly Harry, because I think he's in the hearts of everybody here in the UK, and I think everybody was very pleased that he'd married someone from a different racial background. Because I mean, the fact that was happening was fantastic, and everybody loved all that. Yeah. But when Meghan now plays racial card, I think that is a real misuse and a real misjudgment of the public mood that was there, you know. I think everybody was well for that.
Didn't the Queen step in because Meghan wanted a tiara with a great big emerald in, and Harry said, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. And the Queen stepped in and said, Meghan does not get what she wants. Do you remember?
Yeah. So these are accusations of bullying. I think that they conveniently come out at the same time as we get the release of the TV show. And then we've also got Philip in hospital, who, you know, I've been predicting a death in the royal family, haven't I, last year? And it could be very dangerous. It could be a very bad time. Wouldn't things backfire if he died in the next few days? Not I'm saying he will, but you know, it's such a it's such an incendious sort of thing that's happening.
And then Meghan is now saying that the palace is using that as an excuse against her because the show about Prince Philip, and I don't think that's right.
And this is interesting that Phoenix is saying here, says that Diana was a victim, but you could argue Charles was one as well. He never wanted to marry her.
Well, then he should have married his mistress the first time then.
And he should have actually said it right straight away. He was refusing. But the pressures on the royal family are enormous, because it's not like a normal marriage for them, because they are symbols of the state, aren't they? And they're symbols of Britain to the world. And the royal head is on stamps all over the world still to this day. So, you know, they are therefore extraordinarily difficult for them to have proper marriages.
But then out that marriage came two beautiful boys.
Yeah. I mean, I think Harry is a fantastic person. I mean, I do see him, you know, even though he had all his military work and everything, I see him as being bullied. And I think the bullying, because bullying can take many forms, you know, it doesn't have to be, it's not physical. And I think he's being played. He's being played because she is the victim. His mum was a victim. Therefore, he goes to the person that's a victim. And what does he want to do? He wants to defend the victim, even though that victim, I think, might have another agenda, which was, let's go to Canada. Okay, no, Canada's no good. Let's go to California. Oh, let's become big stars in Bel Air and Beverly Hills and so forth, which was what she originally wanted. That was her dream all along. And I think all this is going to backfire. I think it's going to backfire in a big, big way, because I feel that's what's going to happen is we're going to see it all on Netflix and everything like that. But I think the public distrust of particularly of Meghan, particularly in Britain, and I think it will happen in America too, will turn it into an absolute farce, just like what happened with Fergie. I mean, Fergie made an absolute fool of herself when she went on American television, desperate for money in the end, wasn't she? And she was a big name. She was a big, big name.
Now, Cynthia say, I think more compassion is needed than judgment of this couple. And I think compassion needs for the Queen as well, because she's had to put up an awful lot.
Yeah, and I think she's right. Actually, we are being a bit harsh here. I do agree with you. We are being a bit harsh there. But you can't help but say what you see with these things, you know, and I think it will be disastrous. And I think, and the compassion comes in the fact that, yes, it is not easy having a marriage and a birth in the public limelight like this. And of course, everybody's saying she didn't even have a baby in the first instance. It was fake. But, you know, there was a lot of things that were questionable about that too, because, I mean, the announcement came at a strange sort of time. We thought, didn't we, that she was pregnant when she walked down the aisle?
I thought she was about 6 weeks.
Because we thought when she actually walked down the aisle, she was already pregnant, but
Anyway,
they didn't tell anybody.
Pleased for Harry that he's got a family and another child coming, and pleased that he is in love.
I think the children are going to be interesting of both of them, because I think one of the children's going to go into politics in America when they get older, and we're going to see somebody from that royal lineage in American politics. And
how do you say this name? Takiwatanga
TV. We'll call you TV, I think.
T, Mr. T.
There's a lot of opportunities to make mistakes.
If you think Meghan is bad, what do you think about Prince Andrew's connections with Epstein, in fact, and the Queen's? I think he's wrong as well. I think he should take a punishment like a man.
Yeah, I say in the predictions earlier in the year that we'll all be covered up. We won't see justice. Are we ever going to see justice there? I don't think we are we? I mean, they just cover up. And this is the sort of the dark side of it again, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, here's people that are put up as symbols of our nation. I mean, if you go into India or go around India, everybody's got on their wall a picture of Gandhi, you know? I mean, he's on the money and everything. He's the symbol of their nation. What a wonderful symbol. But what have we got? We've got a family that basically, when you really look at it, they're one of the most dysfunctional families of all time. They're spoiled, they're greedy. And although I kind of like the idea of a royal family, because I think it kind of brings the nation together, you know, particularly with the weddings and the funerals and all the rest of it. And it projects Britain to the world in a quite a positive way. And they do good work on that level. But, you know, at the same time, are these really now the values that we would want for the country? Really? You know, I think a lot of people are thinking that, you know, because all it is a soap opera. And when the Queen goes, I think Kate is doing an exemplary good job. But only because she's kind of conformed, you know. I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks. And I imagine if I lived in Australia or something, I'd be thinking, do we really want these people representing us? Or, you know, they treated Diana like a brood mare. Charles wouldn't have been allowed to marry Camilla. No, he wouldn't have done. There was no way. I don't know if you know the story of the Jane and I that we worked on with Diana. Well, we worked on a program that went out in America called The Spirit of Diana. And if you have a look in our videos on the main page or on the website at psychics.co.uk, we were given permission to put a whole load of the clips together. So a lot of the best bits, i.e. the bits with me and Jane, are all on there. And we did a seance to communicate with the spirit of Diana. But this wasn't like some of these junky TV things. This was a big budget sort of thing they did. We didn't realize it was going to be a big budget thing. But they basically got people who knew Diana really well, but friends and confidants and secretaries, people from the press that were close to her, like a personal secretary, people that worked on the aids with her and everything like that. And it was so because you can't do a spirit, well, you can, but you can't really summon a spirit. You know, you can't conjure up a spirit and say, I'm going to sort of communicate now with Elvis and things. I know a lot of mediums do that, but if you examine it, it's just fantasy. You need someone with you so that person can confirm it. Yeah. And so verify that, you know, Diana said this, Diana did that, Diana did that. And they can say, yes, that's very personal. Only I know that. And that's me, you know. So we did it with those people from the palace, including people very, very close to her. The cook, yeah. I mean, she used to fry the eggs with Diana.
Personal secretary.
Yeah, and we gave them it was really difficult too.
We weren't allowed to be together.
We were separated. I flew beforehand too, which was not easy, you know, and we were very tired. And, you know, we said, you know, you're spending all this money on this, you know, because we weren't taking a fee for it. We said any fee will go, we didn't have the foundation then. We said any fee will have to go to the Prince's Trust, because we're not taking a fee for this. We're doing this because we want to prove mediumship. And, you know, we got some fantastic results, and we were able to, I feel, genuinely give messages from Diana under terribly difficult circumstances with people who have never sat with a psychic before as well, journalists who are kind of a bit blinkered. But yeah, we got some messages, and
another interesting thing, we had lots of photos taken of us. I had lots of photos taken of me when I was actually going to deep meditation, and somebody from the crew, or I think it was the maid in the hotel, they stole the photographs of me.
And that was a motorcyclist that came by and stole all the equipment too.
Yeah,
that was but it was difficult. What we did was we did that, and it was tremendously controversial at the time. You can imagine it was just as big as this, well, not as big as what's going on now, but it had that sort of same energy to it. We were sent around to talk on Fox TV in America and everything. So anyway, I've digressed. But if you want to see it, there's video of it out as well, DVD. But they're pretty hard to get hold of. But like I say, you can see most of it on our channel.
You get them on Amazon, I think.
Marie Camp saying,
yes.
Is this Meghan Harry saga just a distraction to let Prince Andrew off the hook over the Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't think so.
Bloody good idea if it was.
Yeah, because that Maxwell woman, the court case comes up in July.
They're never going to get that Prince Andrew. They're never going to nail him down. They can try and try as much as they want, but he will not get caught. And I think that's terrible, because he should be brought to book. And particularly all people in power should have exemplary personalities and character. And if they get their fame, they get their money, they get all the rest from being in the public eye, and they should be tried in the public eye and be held to account more than anybody.
God.
Who is Harry's real dad?
Well, we don't...
I don't know about you, because they obviously said...
No, I believe he is Prince Charles' father, not James Hewitt, because the shape of his head is exactly like his father, Brow. Definitely he is Harry's child, 100% with that. Yeah, and
I felt that as well. And that was something, again, that came through on the seance.
Yeah, just because Harry's got red hair, ginger hair, well, Henry VIII had ginger hair.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Scottish blood in the royal line as well, I think, isn't there? Which quite often brings ginger hair, I think. Yeah.
No, that's definitely Prince Charles' son, definitely. 100% about that.
Yeah, and that again, that was something that we talked about, because not everything was shown from the seance. So there was a lot of interesting stuff that did come up. Vera's saying Queen Elizabeth should react and should have reacted.
Oh yeah.
And said something to the press to let them in peace before it came to this.
Well, they don't really comment, do they, the royal family, because they've got the stiff upper lip. They don't really.
They've always said they will not comment on press stuff, because otherwise they're going to be constantly they're constantly be arguing in the press about it, and the slightest word creates things. One of the most interesting things, and this is another prediction that I think is going to happen here. Going back in the I don't know, it might have been right back in the 90s now, early 90s. They took the cameras into the royal household and filmed the everyday life of the Queen.
Yes.
And they were all a bit uncomfortable about it, but it actually worked out as being comparatively positive for the royal family. So I bet you, and I think I'm seeing this as well, I bet you, because it came to me the other day, that they're going to do another, this is going to die down a bit, but they're going to do their own crown, right? And they're going to take the cameras in and show what's really happening in the palace and around the royal family again. Probably without Prince Andrew, but I feel they're going to do something like that again.
He should be counted for his action if he's done wrong things with young girls.
Yeah,
should be. I think it's disgusting.
I mean, how many people get away with all these terrible things that we see? We see not just in Britain, we see it in America. We see corruption at every level of society, don't we? Roll on the day when people of character can rule the world, not people who are rich or people that are born to it and the rest of it.
This is crazy.
Diana was rumoured to have relations with the butler.
He's gay.
As Harry does look a lot like him.
Well, the butler's gay, if that's Paul Burrell.
What was the name of the writer that we met at Melanie's?
Andrew Morton.
Andrew Morton, because we were talking to him quite a lot about this topic.
He's written a book about Diana.
Yeah, and he never, Andrew Morton, when he was well, I mean, sort of talking. It wasn't. I can't say this because it's you know, he's not saying this himself. But we were talking to him, weren't we, for a short while there? And he didn't think that that was going on, did he?
Well, he's gay, the
Yeah,
butler.
that's what I say. I mean, he would
been married, he's gay.
He would have definitely picked up on that. So I think no to that.
He probably was there for her and that, and she needed someone to unload to and talk to because she went through a lot, didn't she?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she did, and she had Paul Burrell, wasn't it? And but he was. I think he's another one that's kind of milked it, though, didn't he? You know, I mean, and psychics who milk it too. I mean, okay, yeah, we did the Spirit of Diana, hands up, we did that. But I mean, others who, what Diana used to do, for example, she used to phone all the psychics. She used to phone the premium rate psychic lines, and that used to sort of drive the
350 that worked for us on there.
And they phoned our psychic lines. Well, we don't own it, but we worked as affiliates with the psychic lines that are on the website. And she kept phoning the psychic lines that we were on. And some of the psychics that were on there who used to work on the phone lines, no names mentioned, now make a lot of fuss about they were Diana's psychic. And actually, all they were doing, they were just randomly put through to different readers. So she was just ringing anybody. She was desperate to talk to anybody, you know. She was so alone. She must have been one of the most lonely people in the world. Anyway, I digressed again.
Now.
Yeah. The royal firm provides the budget for the family. So it's a lie that Meghan had the largest budget.
Well, we don't know that, do we? I know there was a lot of money spent on Frogmore House, all this eco paint and all the nursery, and had to be like that. And and people were complaining it came out the taxpayers' money, but I believe Prince Charles paid for it in the end.
I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
So they didn't actually pay their way with that, did they? Although I suppose they would have been in quite a difficult position because they weren't making all the millions they're going to make from Netflix now. But yeah, so Frogmore House was one of those sort of, you know, the thing is, you see, it's the brand. I mean, she calls it the firm, but actually it's the brand.
Establishment.
They are the royal family is the brand, probably the biggest brand in the world, the highest, you know, the most known brand, you know, even bigger than Coca-Cola. And they make their money on the brand. And I don't think it's fair that someone should be able to take the brand and then take it to America and then want to make their careers based on a brand that is not theirs. The brand is Britain's brand. Anyway, that's one thought. I'm sure a lot of you probably hate what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
I did see a clip of Meghan and Archie and reading the story, and she looked quite sweet the way she was reading it. I did think she's a good mother. I
see someone just said there that they met Diana too. I mean, it's amazing how many people have met Diana, actually. Yeah. She was an incredibly a person for reaching out to the world, wasn't she? I mean, can you see Meghan doing that?
I actually am friends with one of Princess Diana's friends.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot. Of course, when we did this show on American TV, although it was pretty controversial, we had all the journalists in the world coming in for us who knew Diana, having readings and so forth. So we had a lot of people wanting us to connect to Diana who knew Diana personally. But like I say, other people have said, oh, can I get a message from Diana? Can you arrange for it? I said, well, only if you knew her absolutely personally. Otherwise, it's pointless because we can't do it. Kate is very jealous of Meghan. That's probably true. Where do you think the leaks are coming from? She's always trying to outdress, copy charities, and even tried to cook because Meghan authored a cookbook for charity.
My answer to you, Elaine, that Kate was there first, wasn't she? Because she's married to the future king of this country.
I think she's right in some respects, though, there, but they do kind of try to outdo one another. And this is the problem when families split, isn't it? It ends up in civil war. I mean, in countries when royal families split.
I think both Meghan and Catherine dress beautifully. I thought they
they're bound to, because
I thought they dressed really stylish, both of them.
I mean, the whole thing was the royal family and the court of Louis. The word fashion and came, didn't it, from the court of Louis? It was always the kings and queens of Europe that set the fashion whatever it may be, you know, and they would all compete. And so that's what you're saying there is really just the carry on of what's always been going on in the royal families of who is setting the fashion. I mean, fashion.
Are you jealous of me, Craig, the way I dress?
I had to wear pink.
I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, but that's what does happen, though. And that's what fashion's all about, isn't it? And a very powerful force, fashion, though. Diana understood that as well. Neil is saying, if their children get into US politics, do you see them getting to the president or the vice president?
Interesting.
Well, this is what I was saying, and you might have seen it in one of my other videos, because I felt they would go into politics. I don't think they get as far as presidency or vice president, but I did get a sense that one of them, because I think will have a very, very powerful position in American politics. It will be sort of, you know, it's like a family name, you know, like the Kennedy name and the rest of it. It has a power. You think we got Arnold Schwarzeneggers and people like that in power because they're known figures. So I think politics is going to get involved in this, and it might come through some of the pain that has come, because I feel there will be a divorce between Harry and Meghan, and I'm sorry to say that, but I just feel it's not going to work, I don't think. And the children, I think, will have a difficult time, and I think, but they'll be stirred into politics. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I think Harry and Meghan, this is Lita saying this, I think Harry and Meghan are simply an example of two people coming together who bring out the worst in each other. I suppose they do, really. I suppose they do.
But I wouldn't have thought a Virgo and a Leo were compatible, but they seem quite compatible, don't they?
On one level, they're very compatible. Yeah, I mean, if Harry was going out doing an ordinary job and Meghan was going out and working in a restaurant in the evenings, they were ordinary people, you know, they were ordinary people struggling to make a living. How would their relationship work? I mean, you know, see Harry in the army and Meghan doing something that she's good at, like, I don't know, a restaurant. They didn't have all this behind them with all these, this power behind them. As a couple, would they get on? They probably would, but my fear is there's an agenda behind it. You see, that's where I feel.
Well, most Leos are drama queens.
Yeah, Leos stalk their prey when it comes to relationships. They stalk their prey, and they can be murderously vicious. Sometimes this is on the bad side of Leo. Sorry to all you Leos. There's lots of good things about Leos too, but they can when things go wrong with the Leo, they can be vengeful. They can be very, very vengeful.
Pet GB, have you ever seen tarots by...
Have you ever seen tarots by Janie? She claims the entire royals are fake, like clones, and Meghan isn't even her, but a double. Very strange what she spates. People believe her to boot. Yeah, well, you know, first and foremost, I mean, you can't tell much with tarot cards. I mean, tarot cards are just a tool. You know, it's like, say, you know, they're just a tool. You have to have the clairvoyance. So real clairvoyance doesn't really need the tarot cards, you know. So I don't know this person, so I can't comment, you know. But generally, you can't start reading the future just with tarot cards. They're just a tool for the clairvoyance. They're like a mirror to the clairvoyance. So my feeling there is that this person is clickbait, basically, isn't it? You know, if you say something really dramatic, people all love it. They all share it. People always prefer to have fantasy than facts. You know, when you start being down to earth and trying to be clear about things, people don't get interested. You know, most people aren't really interested in spirituality. They're more interested in headlines. And to me, all that is just playing into this silly conspiracy theory stuff that goes out there.
Right, Lisa, hi. How many children will Harry and Meghan have? Thank you. 2 boys, 1 girl. That's what I see.
Yeah, I haven't thought, and I think you're probably right there.
I know I'm right.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I definitely felt there'd be.
She's lost 1.
Yeah.
Right. And I see 2 boys and a girl. 3.
So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, all these things are being said. You'll be able to see these videos because we leave them up. So in the
They'll be
future,
dated.
and you can always read the dates. And yeah, it's going to be certainly going to be an interesting story how it unwinds, actually. And I think the whole royal future is going to be interesting. I think we'll have one more generation of royals, but I don't know whether they'll continue after that.
I think King William will be the last king.
I think can't see it going beyond that. I mean, can you see a modern age? You know, look how far we've advanced since the Queen took the throne. You know, the world's changed beyond recognition, and it's going to change again.
Right. Apple says, if they divorce, will Harry stay in the US? I can't see him being accepted back in the USA in the same way
UK, yeah.
as he was before. Well, I think at the end of the day, of course, Charles will welcome him back.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would stay in the USA. In fact, I think for Harry, in many respects, the USA for him must be quite exciting at first. But remember the world he's been living in. You know, he's been living in a cloistered world, really. Okay, he did the army and everything like that, but it was all about Britain, and he was tremendously patriotic, obviously. You know, I think he would definitely come back to the UK. You know, I don't think he'd even go to a Commonwealth country like Canada or South Africa and things. I think he would head back to the UK. Yeah, he would, and I think they would have him back.
Yes, they would.
But you know, it would obviously not be the same, and I think he probably would not take a very senior role either, because I feel he would have had enough of it and would probably want to focus his life back where his heart really is, which is in the army. Greta Greens, I'm re-evaluating during lockdown and now have no respect for RF.
Royal family.
Okay, in the 21st century, we should not be bowing to royals. Yeah, well, obviously people are going to be very split with this. I certainly think, don't you, that the Crown and all this Meghan business, particularly Meghan and Harry business particularly, is really turning a lot of people against the very concept of having a royal family.
Well, it feels like, and people are feeling, that Meghan's destroying the royal family. Actually destroying them.
I think it's I like the idea of the royal family personally. I like the idea of the Commonwealth too, because I think much of the Commonwealth's got no teeth or anything nowadays. It's just, you know, but it's still a good thing. You know, there is a bond between the English-speaking peoples of the world and the peoples that were part of the Commonwealth.
There's nowhere in the world
it was a fantastic
that's got
thing
a royal family like ours. And when the trooping of the guards and the Queen,
Hollywood can't do it, can they? No. I mean, this is not just, it's not something that's put on. It's something that's been there. Every single little thing that goes on in these royal things, there's some tradition to it, some, you know, incredible, going right the way back to William the Conqueror and so forth. Anyway, Nina is saying, when do you see the divorce happening? Good question.
You can't give a date and a time, but it will happen in the future, 100%.
Good question, because she'd have another child, so it's not going to be. It's not going to be
in the future.
In the future, but she's not going. She's not going to. It's not going to be soon, is it?
No.
I think it's going to be. I think we're going to have a few more years yet. I think 3 to 5 years. I think, but I think it will collapse in the end. If they divorce, will Harry remarry?
I should think he'd have enough of women by then.
I mean,
it's not. I don't. In a way, I'm pleased that he's found somebody that loves him and he loves them. That's really lovely, because when you saw him walking behind his mother's coffin, where he's
and I mean when they met too. I mean, it really was, until we got to know what was really going on. It was real hope, wasn't there? It did seem something good.
Yeah,
you know, that we had people from mixed races coming together. I think that was a fantastic thing, and we all loved that. And then it all just fell apart so badly, so quickly too. And that's why I think there was an agenda. Thanks for doing a contribution, Aries. Crikey, a big one too. Do you see another child for the Cambridges?
I think you'll find that they will have another child, definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, because she's very maternal.
2 boys and a girl we're talking about, and I agree with you. I think we're right. You're right with that.
We're talking, Craig. We're talking about.
Oh, the
Kate.
Cambridges. Sorry.
You're getting mixed
I've
up.
gone off in another direction. Sorry. I'll leave it to you,
Sack
Jane.
him.
Yeah. What were
Right.
you saying? Sorry.
Right, because they've only got one daughter, the Cambridges.
Yeah.
So they've got 3 children, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I lose
What's
track.
their names? Louis.
I forget. You read the Hello magazines
There's
all the
nothing
time.
to do the Hello magazine. Yes, she will. And there'll be a daughter.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. So you got any questions? Anything you think controversial you want to say too? You know, I mean, we'll put it up. I don't mind. Craig, do you think they should be stripped of their passports and condemned to live in Hollywood? I presume that means forever.
Yeah, I thought you meant a holy hole.
Yeah, holy hole. Yeah.
A holy hole.
Yeah, condemned to live in Hollywood forever. Yeah,
I don't think they should be stripped of their passports.
No, I don't think it
That's
should.
a bit
I
too
don't
much.
think it should be vindictive. I think really what they should do is just disappear. And if they really genuinely want to be out of the public eye and don't want the attention of the press, then do that. And the way to do that is move away from California.
Or better still, go and live in a panic room.
Yeah, well, go and live in Australia. I mean, the Australians are mixed feelings about royal family. Some like them, some don't. So there can be just ordinary people there, you know, that could easily live as ordinary people. But no, they have to be right in the public eye. You know, they have to be. So
very difficult for them.
It's not easy though, but they're not like ordinary people. Jonathan Ackworth. Diana wrote a note in October before her death saying her husband Charles was planning a car accident, paving the way for her to marry Camilla. 6 months later, she died, how she predicted. So why isn't the royal family being investigated for murder? I did some predictions for the Daily Mirror before that car accident the year before, and I said there would be a royal car accident, which I thought was going to be Charles, actually, and it turned out to be Diana. So I got the wrong person, but I got the right event. And I think
it was definitely an accident.
But when we did the Diana, when we did the Diana seances, it came through loud and clear that it was an accident. And, you know, it would have been much easier for somebody that, you know, was just a charlatan would have stood there and given them all sorts of exciting headlines. But frankly, with all this business about the Fiat Uno in there, in the flash of light in the tunnel and everything like that, and they took us all down the tunnel and everything. We went to all these places in Paris where Diana had been before we did the seance. All of that, you know, been great for us to say, yes, someone had been tampering with the brakes of the car, or the driver had been drunk, and all the rest of it. But the fact was, it was an accident. She and Dodie were panicking. They were getting in the car. The car was belting down that tunnel, and there's pillars every few minutes, every few seconds as you go down there. It would have been the slightest twist of the wheel, you'd have hit one of them, and they were going over the speed limit. There was lots of question marks because they were going an unusual route to get to Dodie's place. But then they were trying to shake off the press, weren't they? It was just a dreadful accident.
And even if Diana wrote that in the letter, that might have been her feelings that she felt.
Yeah. The Queen is beautiful and should make a stop to all this nonsense about Harry and Meghan. Well, there's not much she can do about it, is she? I mean, they don't normally respond. The Queen does not normally respond, does she? But I think this time they must be, because they have kind of responded.
And remember, there's a lot going on.
Really angry.
Well, there's a lot going on. There's poor Prince Philip, really ill at the moment, being transferred to another hospital.
And that's fuel on the fire of anger, isn't it? Because when people have worries like that, every human being gets a certain amount of transference, don't they? They get angry with hospitals, they get angry with doctors, or angry with each other, because it's a kind of a denial particularly when a death happens. And I should imagine the energy in the royal household at the moment is red hot.
Yeah.
You know, they try to put on a brave face. So there we go. Marie's saying, at the end of the day, she is half black, female and American. Not a good recipe for entry into the royal family. Can't see the royal household accepting her or wanting to serve her.
I thought they were pretty good accepting her.
Yeah, well, my feeling was they, you know,
They went out their way.
I don't think it did seem to me that there was no prejudice there whatsoever. It didn't appear that way in the way they projected it. I mean, maybe there could have been in the background.
Meghan pushed her father aside and asked Prince Charles to give her away as her father. Now, she had been spoilt as a little girl, and I know this is true, from the age of 6. Her father, I think she had private schooling and everything, and lived with her father. And then as the years went on, she decided to go back to her mother.
Yeah, I think you've got to put the colour aside and just look at the people.
I don't think it matters about colour or race, because we're all human beings on this planet, and everybody has love in their heart, and that's all that matters. And I think people were generally thrilled that Harry was marrying the girl that he loved.
Yeah, and I think if Meghan was to play the colour card, as it were, and say, you know, people are prejudiced against me, which could appeal to an audience that, you know, feels you know, that they're being pushed out in the world. But I think it would cause more division than ever. And I think it would be a lie. And I think it would have, again, playing into this idea I was saying before, I am the victim. I'm just like your mum. I'm a victim. She was a victim. I'm a victim. Love me because I'm a victim. You know, it's a powerful medicine. It's dangerous.
I think where...
And then we better read it first. Harry said in an interview that I'm afraid that the Diana story might repeat again. What did he mean, and what will happen after the divorce for Meghan and Harry?
Well, I think she's played on that a bit. You cannot compare this girl to Diana. Diana was an aristocratic family, and she touched people's hearts. And if anything, I don't feel that Meghan is a victim. I think we're all a victim.
And also, actually, it's interesting in the way you phrase that, actually, there, because he talked about the Diana story repeating itself. So in his mind, he's already thinking, I'm doing the Diana story again, because Meghan is doing a rerun of the Diana story now, saying we're all being victimized. You know, I'm stronger than your mum was because I wanted, you know, we learned from her. I can see her using all sorts of psychological things to kind of influence Harry, you know. And I think he's been strung along. Did we answer all that question? I can't remember what the rest was. Months ago, you predicted a death. Yes, I did, unfortunately, in 2021 in the royal family. Could your prediction be Prince Philip? Cordially yours. I was worrying that it could be. And I didn't say it at the time.
Well, he's getting on. The poor man's getting on for 100.
He's getting pretty close, isn't he? Anyway, but I wasn't sure at the time, but I just sort of saw something bad
really
there. But I don't want to predict people's deaths, personal deaths to people, because that's not a good thing to do. So I leave that open. Making predictions is always a pretty tough thing to do. Actually, I know you all like me doing predictions, but I don't always like doing them. You know, because of the things that you'll see or you have to talk about.
Yeah.
No, Charles should not be king. He does not deserve it. He was jealous of Diana and that she was more popular than him. They had to work better together. But I think 11 years and a different interest they have. But I think 11 year and different interests they have. There was 11 years difference in their ages, was there?
Yes,
So you don't think Charles should be king? I think a lot of people feel that. A lot of people think that it's going to jump a generation, and I think the Queen must think it too, up to a point, because she's going to hang on in there to the day she dies, won't it? It'll be the Queen is dead, long live the king, but which one?
How old is Prince Charles, by the way, now?
I think he's about 70, isn't he? I don't know. It's about 70 or more.
I don't see him past 74. I don't know while we're talking. I don't see him past 74.
I've always felt that Charles might not live as long as he did see the kingship.
I don't see him going past 74, Craig.
Yeah. He might not even be king, mightn't he? Or he might be king for the shortest reign of all time, because I get the feeling that I get the feeling there's tragedy around him ultimately.
Agility, please.
Agility Bits is saying Prince Philip is 99 years old. Yes, he's 200 next year, isn't he? With the best will in the world, he can't live forever.
That's right.
No, that's absolutely.
So Craig's going to live to 1,000, aren't you, Craig?
I don't know.
He's made his mind up.
I've been told I live.
He's a lizard, really, an alien.
Yeah. I think I've already been pickled. I eat as many preservatives as I can because you need them at my age. Yeah. Talking about preservatives, we'll have to have a little bit of that cake in a minute there, Jane.
Oh dear.
We show people it. I'll just put it up. So we're going to have the last questions now, and we'll just show you the picture of the lovely cake that Dominica can put up, which we're just going to have in a moment. A lovely piece of cake there for us
Chocolate
that
cake
Jane
this
has
week.
ready. But we're not going to do a second half this week because, well, I'm very tired this week. I've been busy, and Domenico's tired as well. So between us, we think it's probably better not to do a second half this week. But we'll do some more stuff. Don't forget to go and have a look at Domenico's channel.
Oh,
by
yeah,
the way,
it's
too,
fabulous.
because he's got some fantastic stuff going up on there at the moment, and it really is good and interesting. So last questions, and again, thank you to all the patrons. And patrons may have noticed that I've started putting up little short predictions on the patrons channel, and I'm going to keep doing those all the time. So when you ask questions on the patrons channel now, I'll try to answer as many as I can and give you some insights and thoughts, and we'll do some meditations like I promised as well on there again soon. Anyway, so thank you all. Have we got any last questions?
Someone's coming to have a piece of our cake.
Yeah.
When we get our centre, you're all welcome to have a piece
Yes,
of cake.
we'll have to make a giant cake, a huge cake.
I would do.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Stay
A
for
giant
supper.
cake when we get it all together. So I don't know if we got any last questions now. Help us with our new fundraiser. Yes, now that's a point actually, because Domenico's just put up, and thank you for those that have contributed. We've got a new fundraiser going because we are trying. COVID has held everything back quite a lot, but if the money keeps coming in, we'll be able to start working towards this centre more rapidly. So if you can give a donation on the GoFundMe link, which you'll find in the description below, you'll help us with the spiritual work that we want to do. You never know, there might be somebody out there, and I know there's a few of you that have suggested this, that might be able to give quite a substantial donation, and then we can follow it up with getting some backing it up with some government donations once we know we got a good fund. Okay, you're coming to our house for cake. Oh, the door's just gone, Jane.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be fun. We have you seen the Oprah Winfrey? Meghan is wearing new posh designer clothes.
Yes, a
and
bit
shoes.
like Wallis Simpson used to wear.
Yes, what you were saying. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
and shoes.
Models herself. Everything's thought about very carefully. Harry has
So-
holes in his shoes. Did he?
I didn't know
I didn't
that.
know that. That wouldn't surprise me. Is that deliberate, or is he trying to tell us something?
Well, I don't expect you can afford anything else on
She's an
her dress.
expensive
That
person.
dress was $4,000.
Yeah, I can imagine Harry wouldn't care much really about all that. You know,
Well, I
he's
suppose-
been in the army, hasn't he? I mean, you know, I can't see him wearing a pair of shoes long enough to make a hole in
And
it.
another thing
They probably have different shoes every day.
I read was that some of these film stars get free clothes and things for Oscars, and there was a big hoo-ha in the royal household that Meghan was told she's not allowed to accept all these freebies.
Oh yeah. Suddenly she couldn't get all the patronage.
And so
for
that's what the
everything.
bullying tactics.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot more about that coming up, isn't there, guys? Yeah. So thank you, Craig and Jane, says Noble CE. That's Noble. I know that what's his name is part in the royal family, isn't he? I've forgotten his name now.
Who?
The name's gone. Put his name up.
Who's that? Harry?
He asked a question early on. It's from the royal family. He's got royal lineage. Which
Jonathan.
Egyptian? Yeah, Jonathan. That's it. Oh, sorry, Jonathan. Forgot your name for a minute. Missed that one. Yes. So it's Diana was a complex character. She was indeed.
Yeah,
wasn't
but
she?
you've got
very
to-
interesting character.
Yeah, but she was a Cancerian, so she was very homely, loved children, and you've got to remember she came from a broken home.
Yeah, I mean, dedicated to her children,
And
being
at
a
7 years
Cancerian.
old, sent to a boarding school, a child at 7 years old.
Yeah, and they're complex characters. You see, Cancerian, they're crabs. They walk sideways, don't they? You don't know what they're going to do next.
Well, they're meant to have hard shell on the outside, but they're real sort of
Soft
softly
inside,
inside.
they're, yeah.
And she's a good mother and that's
Most
the
emotional,
children.
most emotional of all the stars.
Well, she just wants to be loved, wants she? A beautiful girl, innocent like that.
Yeah, rotten world she went through.
Beautiful girl.
Love cake. You guys are nice, and the cake's even nicer. You're not having any of it.
God.
Thank you both. I love animals, says. And virtual cake. Yes. We'll better have to sell your cake online, Jane.
Yeah.
I can't wait for William to be king. Yeah, I think that's a good
He'd be
point.
a great
Actually, I
king.
think
He'd
I
be
get
a
the
great
feeling he'd be a
king.
good person.
Compassionate,
actually.
loving,
Yeah, I think he'll do
real
the right
family
job.
man.
And hopefully project good values.
I'm sure he will.
That's all we need. We need just someone there that,
I mean, you look at Kate.
like I said, with the Gandhi on
you
the
look
wall
at Kate,
thing.
she's come from an ordinary family, hasn't she, really? Because the mother used to work as a stewardess on the airlines and the father a pilot. But she's still very grounded, isn't she?
Yeah, I think
they
what we want to see in
other.
these people is good human values that
Yeah,
brings people together and brings the world together. And they're very powerful mouthpiece, and they can do good things if they get it right. But not all about me, self. Oh no, thank you for being nice light during this time period. Yeah, I mean it's dark days, isn't it?
Look at what I've got to just read this, Craig, if I may. James said, Jane and Craig, do you have matching pink underwear? And if yes, can I buy them? Yes, that's going to cost you a couple of thousand because I've been wearing them.
Daft. Yes, I can see people buying that. Yeah. I like humour. I think I don't mind people putting humorous comments up, even if they're a little bit derogatory to us sometimes. Thank you, Craig and Jane. Enjoy your cake. Well, we'll be saying goodbye in a moment, I think. So we're just saying our last goodbyes to you all. And thanks for joining us, actually, for these chat sessions. And also, don't forget, if you're new to it, do subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe and share this video if you can, so that we can get more people following us and get those followers up beyond the 100,000, and we get extras from YouTube then. Thank you, says Mary Ann. Yeah, so we're getting close to the end now.
Yeah, shame it goes so quick.
Does it seem like 5 minutes tonight?
Yeah.
Will Oprah be disappointed with the outcome of this interview? No, she'd be rubbing her hands. She's probably making more money with this interview.
Who says that?
Will Oprah be disappointed with the outcome? No, she'd be pleased as punch. I mean, good news, bad news, it doesn't matter. If you've got that sort of exposure, worldwide news, blimey.
And I think we'll be interviewing the Queen next week, and she can have a piece of my cake.
They like the pink again, so I think actually the pink works as quite a nice colour on screen. Actually, this was one of those madcap things. I thought I'll buy that jacket. When am I going to ever wear it? I might as well wear it in front of everybody. Thank you, Craig and Jane, for an interesting evening. Yeah, and thank you all for joining us. We love you. Yes,
and we love you too.
I can't get used to all these nice goodbyes. All the horrible comments haven't been put up, have they?
I wonder why.
Yeah. So we've got to say goodbye now, I think, folks. So okay, so we're going to say bye now. So thank you for joining us here, and we'll see you again next week, every Friday, 7 o'clock UK time.
And I think this is great. We can all connect, don't you? Especially in lockdown, Craig.
Yeah, so connect with us as well. Don't forget to connect with us through Facebook. Don't forget to connect also and have a look at Domenico's pages, because he's got some very interesting stuff going on. And if you really love our work and you want to support us, either give a donation to the GoFundMe, or come and become a patron and give a small amount each monthly, I think it is. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We're going to say bye then. Bye for now.
Bye.
Ciao.